What's up, Raider Nation? We're back with another video. We got two special guests today, two Jets fans. So, y'all want to go ahead and introduce yourselves?
Okay, I'll go first. I'm Grant. I'm from Nashville. I've known Rashawn for a long time. I've not had the pleasure of had my team playing Rashawn's team, except for when the absolute goat Greg Williams sold the game for us a few years ago, hoping to get us Trevor Lawrence, and then got fired for it. Yeah, that guy's great. Still love Greg Williams.
And you ended up with Zach Wilson. Don't forget.
Yeah, well, that's when Greg Williams was gone. He tried. He tried his best.
Yep. What was that, the Frank Gore game? Also, I'm Trey from California. Also went to school with Rashawn for a while. Played on the same basketball team. Yeah, we got a couple of chatting some shit to each other about that. But yeah, it was some fun.
Yeah, and just state where you guys go to school, because you guys go to school on different ends of the country. So
I go to Arizona State. And me and Rashawn almost made the trip up for the game, but after Monday night, I can't do it. I can't do it. I'm not spending $1,500 on good seats to watch this team play like we did against the Chargers.
What it really was, he didn't want to pay $200 to fly Southwest. That's really what it
was.
Well,
no, my flight's $500. But
yeah, come on now.
Your flight's like $80.
I'm from University of Michigan. So yeah, my flight's around $1,000 if I have to go out there. So I'd rather not try and do all that.
All right, so let's get right into it. So we got a big game coming up Sunday night. Obviously, y'all coming off a short week, disastrous short week. Cost me a fantasy game. So you guys for that. But I'm honestly gonna say that I don't think, straight up off the bat, I don't think this is going to be a close game. You guys can disagree with me, but I'm just going to put it out there and say that I got the Raiders winning this game. So you guys can start discussing whatever you want, but that's just my take on it.
I'll add first, and I'm sure Grant will agree with this. I think that there will never be a blowout with this type of defense. Like, there is no way. This defense is way too good. Now, this offense will need to figure it out, because you can't just have Garrett Wilson and Breece Hall carrying the team while having some of the worst pressure rates that I've ever seen with Max Crosby. But like, I think that it's going to be like a 17-14 game where it's just by a field goal, where just probably Jets are going to make the same errors as always, make a lot of penalties. Raiders will probably capitalize it on some point, but I think Jets still win 17-14, but it's going to be one of those games where it's just like, like the past 2 weeks.
And I mean, I totally agree. One of the only times I've ever seen this Jets team get blown out was the Chargers game on Monday night, or on Monday night. And here's some of the stats from that game. The Jets outgained the Chargers. They had more first downs. They had way less third down conversions, because we're actually the worst team in the league on third down. The Chargers didn't even gain 200 yards, and they scored 27 points. They had a kick return for a touchdown. They had one legitimate offensive drive all night. Their only other offensive touchdown was a 2-yard run by Eckler, which should have been counted as a defensive touchdown because of the fact that I thought he returned it for a touchdown. He barely stepped out at the end. The Chargers couldn't run the ball, averaging barely under league average. Justin Herbert wasn't good, completing barely over 50% of his passes for 3.1 yards per pass attempt. Like, it was the difference was penalties and just overall lack of discipline by the Jets. And for this team, who actually have been really good all year, we ranked in the top 10. I think all year we've ranked in the top 10 of penalties all year, and we looked awful. Oh my gosh, it was every key drive, every key moment. We would start a drive. The one I remember was when it was maybe it was 20, or actually I think they still had 13 when Lazard got that holding penalty on the Breece Hall 7-8 yard run on first down, backs us up on a drive. We got a sack in a third down where JJ hands to the face under the face mask of Rashawn Slater. Yeah, just mistake after mistake.
Let me before you recap the whole Jets game play by play, which I appreciate, but
Yeah,
we just get in there really quick. And I'm gonna say, like, that was an eyesore. That was a painful game.
oh my gosh.
That was just
I
a
agree.
painful game to watch. I don't even think I'd ever want to watch another Jets game again after watching that game. I mean, the offense was just like horrible. Like, just, I mean, horrible is an understatement, to be honest. Like, but moving aside from that, I mean, okay, we know that's, Zach Wilson is the biggest, concern for y'all coming up. But to add, okay, Trey, you want to add
I
something?
disagree with that. I disagree with that. I think Grant's gonna agree with this. As much as I hate Zach right now, I think that our scheme has been horrible. No wide receivers get open except for Garrett Wilson, where you have to basically force feed him. And I think our tackles, I think every single week we come out with a different offensive line. Every single week there's a new guy in there replacing someone. And it's no different this week. It's going to be Billy Turner, who was maybe one of the worst tackles I've ever seen on Sunday. On Monday, now coming out and doing it again. So it's all a question of our offensive line against Max Crosby. My opinion right there is, how are we going to be able to stop that pressure from always happening? Zach holds onto the ball too long, but it's always the question of, you got to give him enough time. You got to hope that Allen Lazard bounces back from one of the worst games I've ever seen a wide receiver play. I think he had 5 penalties. I don't know if I'm wrong there, Grant. 5 penalties, like 3 drops.
Yep,
That's
3 drops.
horrendous.
And do you think this tackle playing, or is he out?
We don't know. Questionable. Hoping he's out.
Okay,
No,
so
he is out. It
when
just
it
came
comes
out.
to
He's
that,
out.
Oh, really?
okay,
Yeah,
if
Billy
he's out,
Turner's
then
out.
Who's starting for him?
It's probably
Dwayne
going to
Brown.
be Dwayne Brown.
Okay, Dwayne
Mhm.
Brown is.
Yeah.
He's been solid. He's just old. So we
Yeah.
don't know. But hey, it can't get worse than Billy Turner. So
Nope.
even if Dwayne Brown gives up a bunch of sacks, it can't really get worse.
I like what Bart
I'm
said about him.
gonna then predict a Max Crosby is gonna have a game. I think Max
Oh,
is
yeah.
gonna have a game regardless. But
Oh, yeah,
I'll
he'll have a
think
game.
Gary Wilson will have a sack too, hopefully.
Well, the thing is, the one thing I'll say is, like, everyone says, okay, Max Crosby's going to wreck the game, which he's a great player and it's warranted, the respect that he gets. But the one thing I will say is I'm scared of Breece Hall, because the last few weeks the Raiders have not been able to stop the run at all. Like the Saquon Barkley, he was gashing us for 8-9 yards a pop. Luckily for us, the game got out of hand, so it didn't matter. We could just our pass rush just teed off on Tommy DeVito. But if Breece Hall gets going early on in the game and it's a low scoring game, our pass rush isn't going to be able to do anything if they have to commit to the run, because our run defense is below average. That doesn't get a lot of attention in the national media of how bad our run defense is. So our run defense has to be better in order for these guys to tee off.
But
So
in addition to that, the last few weeks, Divine Diablo's been out. That's our middle linebacker. That's the quarterback of our defense. So he's back at practice this week. He wears a green dot. He calls the plays, and he's a run stopper. He makes plays. He gets in there, and I think even all year our run defense has not been great. I'm not saying that, but the last few weeks, like after that Dante Foreman fiasco, that was like the point where, after him, then Jahmyr Gibbs did that. And then it was like Saquon did it. I mean, in garbage time, essentially, when it really didn't matter. The game was already over. But Saquon was still going, like you said, 8-9 yards a pop. So
dare I say though that Breece Hall is better than all those guys, and the way that he is able to get negative yardage to positive yardage is unlike anything I've seen out of a running back recently. And I'm sure Grant can abide to that, where it's like, I don't know if you guys were watching the Chargers game at this point, but he had a, -5 yard game if it was anybody else, and he did a spin move, got it for 8. Just don't know how he does it, but he is literally a generational talent that we're lucky to have, and that we're facing a defense that you guys are talking about that is not great at it. You are expecting him to go off, but also how much are they going to stack the box and just let Zach cook? Like, that may be the goal for you guys. That should be your guys' scheme. Just let Zach throw. Like, stack the box, let Breece do whatever.
I agree. I think shutting down the run game will be super important. Like, not letting them, gash us like these running backs have been doing in the past. And I agree with your assessment that Breece Hall is a fantastic running back. Like, there's no overlooking him. but that too, I don't think, he's faced a team like the Raiders, and the defense that we have is not better than any of the defenses you guys have played. So, like you said, I think he might have a big game. Like, there's a chance, but stacking the box is good. And I think that should be our game plan. You're right. Stacking the box, making Zach throw the ball. But honestly, like, that would just be like the obvious thing to do. Like, if we're the Raiders, like, to stack the box. And I don't think we're gonna do much of that. We haven't been doing much of that. And the other thing he said was him bouncing off and like making plays, something out of nothing type things. We've struggled with finishing plays this year. I mean, we hit people in the backfield, running backs in the backfield, they bounce off and get like 3-4 yards. Let alone this guy you said turned a -5 yard into an 8 yard gain. So I mean, we've struggled with that. So that honestly makes me nervous, but I still think like overall, when Zach Wilson is throwing the ball, we have a better chance in that situation. But it'll be interesting to see what Patrick Graham calls up this week, being Sunday Night Football under the lights, and I think it's going to be a fun time.
Mm-hmm.
I've been waiting to. I told Rashawn I'd have a bold prediction.
Let's hear it.
Here's my nice bold prediction. Let's see, what is his record? I think it's 3-13. Let me check real quick. Yeah, I think Zach Wilson is going to throw for the most yards he's ever thrown for in the NFL.
Wow.
And I think it's because of the fact that for the first time, we're actually going to see the Jets run double moves, because we got Marcus Peters. He's the guy to run double moves against. Already got a knee injury, questionable for the game. He's probably going to play a little banged up, from what I've been just reading right now. So yeah, always excited to play Marcus Peters, because yeah, he can pick 60 like he did against the Lions, but also he loves to bite on double moves. That's why Baltimore let him go.
That's fair.
But my big thing is hopefully, I mean, actually, all you can do is hope and pray that Nathaniel Hackett has learned, maybe if we come out on first down and heavy personnel with one running back and one receiver, maybe we don't just run inside zone to the right. Like, maybe we don't do it every first down. Maybe we go play action and run like a little PA boot over, something like that. Like, just, you got like, oh my gosh.
That guy historically sucks against the Raiders, by the way.
You gotta have a better scheme. He's had a horrible.
Our scheme is just awful. But as Trey was saying earlier, I never got to talk about this, was the fact of, as much as we hate Zach, as much as Zach's really annoying, this isn't really his fault. Like, we've got a tackle playing guard who's getting burned. We've got our best offensive line player by far is out for probably the season. Again, for the second straight year. What's called before the halfway point, both times. Becton's banged up, but I think he's going to play. He's always banged up though. Dwayne Brown's been out for 6-8 weeks, so happy he's going to come back hopefully.
Tippmann's banged up, but I'm just happy that as much as we do very, very much struggle pass blocking. When we can just run the ball, this offensive line can block in the run game. Not too bad. Plus the Raiders defense, who's, as y'all were saying, has this season been not great against the run. Their linebackers aren't huge. Like, we're not looking at Tremaine Edmonds types. We're looking at average to more of the modern style of NFL linebacker.
Hey, Grant, and I know the NFL analyst that you are. Let me ask you this. Do you seriously, like, are you being serious when you think Zach Wilson is going to throw for a career high in passing yards, or are you just saying?
Yeah, just against the DBs that y'all have. Y'all's DBs are all right, but just the combination of both, because I know y'all are gonna, because the whole national conundrum around the blowout loss was Zach Wilson sucks. Zach Wilson's this. Zach Wilson's that. You sit there and you watch every throw from that game and everything that went on. There's really, because I watched it all back. There's not much to change, other than, hey, maybe get the ball out of your hands a little faster.
Please.
Like, when you're hitting your back step, when you're supposed to be in rhythm and throw, and your first receiver's covered, and you start to go to your second receiver and you're getting sacked, there's not much you can do.
So we've analyzed this game now. We've analyzed the Jets. We've analyzed their offense and their offensive line, their quarterback. We've analyzed pretty much everything you could think of when it comes to the Jets. Thank you for that. So let's get into, let's be honest with ourselves on predictions here. So we usually, what we do is we go around and we just talk about first this week, so give us your score prediction, obviously who's going to win, and then your bold prediction of the game, just, so we get it all down. And Johan, we'll start with you.
Yeah, for this game, I think I said it last pod. I had an interesting score. I said 19-3, the Raiders are going to win this game. And the one reason I will say that is because I trust Aiden O'Connell. You guys mentioned how Zach Wilson is slow getting through his progressions. That's something that Aiden O'Connell has improved on. He goes to his reads quickly, and our offensive coordinator has really simplified this scheme, this Josh McDaniel scheme, to fit this rookie quarterback's strengths. And so obviously I know you guys have a good defense, a good pass rush, but I just think we're going to cook something up to where our quarterback's going to be comfortable and our offensive line's heating up. So I think even if you guys pepper O'Connell a little bit and get some sacks, I do think our offense is going to be able to move the ball, get some field goals. And I do think our defense will be able to contain Zach Wilson. So I got the Raiders winning 19-3.
And let's not forget, we got a badass head coach now too. We got a leader. We got a locker room presence. We got a guy who motivates everyone to be better and to win. Josh McDaniels, I've said it 100 times on this podcast, couldn't motivate me to make lunch. And Antonio Pierce, the first day I wanted to run through a brick wall for that man. Like, that guy just has something about him. The aura around him is just, he gets people going, man. He gets people going. And I think with everything put together, I'm also obviously going to take the Raiders here, but I think it's going to be a little higher scoring. I think it's going to be a 31-17 game. I think the Jets are going to score a couple touchdowns just because of the run game. I think Breece Hall breaks a couple big ones on us, but honestly, 31-17 Raiders. Devontae Adams is going to get back to form, I think, this week. And so Trey, will go to you now.
I'm gonna let Grant say first because you guys heard mine.
All right.
I'm gonna try to stay away from y'all's predictions and just go for mine. Because there's a lot that I'd like to critique about those two statements. But what's it called? I'm gonna say that the Jets bounce back. Figures. I'm a Jets fan, so I'm probably gonna say we're gonna win. But I'm gonna flip your 31-17 score, and here's why. I don't think this Jets offense is ever gonna score 31 points in a game. I think finally the ball is gonna bounce our way for once. As anyone who watched that game on Monday night knows, the drive that the Chargers kind of ended us with, there were 3 plays that should have been turnovers. The ball just didn't bounce our way. So I think that this defense is going to set us up, playing a rookie quarterback. Right now, out of the 60 qualified passers, Aiden O'Connell ranks 37th in PFF advanced metrics. So I'm not too worried about that. I'm not too worried about y'all's defense, who played against Tommy DeVito last week, who is the 42nd ranked quarterback from PFF's advanced metrics. So and Zach Wilson's 24th. So you're getting 2 times the quarterback you're playing. Another thing to note about this defense, the Giants actually were so inconfident in their guy that they didn't let Tommy DeVito throw the ball more than twice against us. And both of those throws were in overtime. So they did not want him to throw the ball. But our offense is pathetic. Our offense sucks. But I figure maybe we've learned. So I'm going to just be hopeful and say we've learned. So if we have, I think it's 31-17. If we haven't learned, I'll give it to us 14-10. So It all depends on Nathaniel Hackett.
Yep. Realistically, I'm the same exact way as Grant. I'm going to give them because, at the end of the day, our special teams is our specialty at this point in our defense. Offense sucks. I'm still calling 17-14. Couple Thomas Morstead inside the 5 punts because of Zach Wilson's incompetency and everything like that. But in general, I think that you guys, I'm going to go off of your guys' score predictions here. I think that you guys are also underestimating how good this cornerback linebacker duo is. Also, you can't just say,
yourself. That's not the show.
hold on, hold on, hold on. No, I'm just saying though. I'm just saying we have rushed 4 still gotten to the quarterback because of how good our DBs are and how good our linebackers are. It's insane how good DJ Reed, Sauce Gardner, Michael Carter is as a trio, with also 2 of the best linebackers PFF has rated. Grant, I don't know if you have the metrics, but what is it?
I have the metrics.
Third and fourth best linebackers?
Yeah. Third, fourth, and then DJ Reed's the number 1 ranked corner by PFF. Sauce Gardner's the number 6 ranked corner by PFF. And Michael Carter, actually, of any DBs in coverage, is allowing the lowest yards per pass of anyone in the league at 0.47, and allows the lowest passer rating in the league. So you can't really throw the ball on us. It just doesn't really work.
That's why the defense is so special. And also you're facing a rookie who's going to be seeing ghosts, I think. That's my call. I think
we can't say somebody else is going to see ghosts.
Yep. My call
That's
is
bad.
My call is this is bad. I'm calling a Sauce Gardner pick 6. That's my big call of the game. I think finally Sauce is going to catch one because you guys are going to try him like every team does, and he's actually going to get this one. I think that you guys are going to try and throw it to Tay, and I think that you guys are trying to force feed him to Sauce or DJ Reed. Sauce is then going to get a pick 6 finally, and yeah, it's just going to be electric when you see that.
Well, let's now, obviously, now that we've gone 2-2 on those picks, and for obvious reasons, Sam picked the Patriots when they were like 1-6. So,
we're not 1-6.
We don't blame.
Yeah, come on.
We don't blame you, but let's. So what we do at the end is we always go through the NFL picks. So we see obviously who's gonna win, in the NFL. So obviously no one wanted to pick the Chicago-Carolina game, so don't even worry about that.
It was dreadful. I wish I could get my life back. It was a waste of time.
Let's start out here. We got Gardner Minshew and the Colts visiting Frankfurt, Germany, and meeting the New England Patriots there. I'm gonna go ahead and start out here and say that I got Gardner Minshew and the Colts. I think New England is just a horrible football team. Belichick's on his way out, and that's a wrap. They'll give him the rest of the year, but Belichick's out at the end of the year.
As a fan of both of these teams, I feel like the Colts are kind of wanting to jockey for playoff position, kind of where we are. So I'm going to cheer for the Patriots and just hope they win. I think they are, like you were saying, a dreadful football team, but Gardner Minshew's a guy that has historically led the league in fumbles multiple times, turns the ball over, and I don't even know if his Patriots offense goes on a consistent drive all game, but I think they could win the game without doing that. Just by how good their defense is really good. Their offense is it's worse than the Jets, which is a pretty big insult.
Insane.
Yeah.
I'm picking the Colts. I think I hate Bill Belichick. That one's for you, Sam. I think Bill Belichick is the most overrated coach. Hate that guy. Tom Brady carried him. Colts.
Yeah, I mean, I just looked at the Colts record. They're 4-5, so they're right there, like you said. But I gotta go Bill Belichick in New England. I don't trust Gardner Minshew in this spot. I think somehow the Patriots will find a way to scheme up something to stop this guy. So I gotta go New England in Germany.
Then we got a MVP candidate in CJ Stroud and the Texans visiting Joe Burrow in Cincinnati. T. Higgins and Jamar Chase are both questionable with injuries. I don't think it matters. I think it'll be a closer game than people think, but I'm going to go with Joey B and Cincinnati.
Yeah, give me Burrow in Cincinnati. It's a pretty easy pick. The Texans aren't ready for it. They can do it versus the absolutely garbage Buccaneers. But since they played great quarterbacks, they know what to do. I think some of the big plays from CJ Stroud last week were a little inflated. Mainly the throw to Pharaoh Brown that went for 75 yards should have been a 20-yard pass completion. Yeah, give me the Bengals.
Yeah, I gotta go. Go ahead.
No, you got it.
Yeah, I was gonna say I was gonna go Cincinnati as well. Look, CJ Stroud's playing really well right now, but I just think they're playing like one of the best teams in the NFL. And I think CJ Stroud cools down a little bit. Rashawn, you said T. Higgins is questionable. They just ruled him out actually.
Oh,
But
wow.
yeah, I think Jamar.
Really? He sucks in fantasy.
Yeah, I mean, so I'm gonna go with Cincinnati though. I trust them more than the Texans.
I'm gonna be the one that does a little bit of a shake here. I'm picking Texans. I think that this is one of those trap games that Cincinnati's coming in hot, Texas coming in hot, but I just think CJ Stroud and Tank Dell together is just too good of a duo.
Next game we got our boy Derek Carr visiting Josh Dobbs in Minnesota. I love the way the Vikings played last week, and I think Josh Dobbs was like signed on Tuesday, won on Sunday type, like Baker Mayfield type when he beat the Raiders on Thursday night. I was at that game, so that hurts. Josh McDaniels, but I'm gonna go Minnesota and Josh Dobbs. I think they're putting it together. The defense is playing really well. Danielle Hunter is having a defensive player of the year type season. But yeah, I got Minnesota.
Yeah, give me Minnesota. They're the hot team. One of my big things before the season was I really thought the Saints could run for a while. At least in the NFC, really weak NFC this year. But with Derek Carr getting hurt early in the season, the Saints team really hadn't been the same. He hadn't been playing the same ever since the Green Bay game. So yeah, give me the Vikings. They're hot. Josh Dobbs, motivational leader, good guy.
I'm probably pick same exact thing, Vikings.
Yeah, I think this is a sneaky good game actually. Both these teams are 5-4, vying for playoff position. But I'm gonna go with Derek Carr and the Saints. I think I trust Derek Carr more than I do Josh Dobbs, even though I know he's playing really well. But it's gonna be an interesting game. I'm excited to watch this one. But I'm gonna go with our old friend DC4.
Hey guys, breaking news.
Yeah.
Jim Harbaugh is
Yes.
banned from the sidelines for the rest of the season.
Are we allowed to talk about NCAA on this? Because
Yeah, of course.
I have something to say about this. So first of all, this team is about to come out with some anger. This team's about to come out with they're about to show something. I think that they're about to put up a 50 spot on Penn State just because of this. I think that this is gonna further this motivation of a team that already is motivated from listening to everybody saying JJ ain't the truth. And now this team is about to show up. They're about to show out. Penn State is about to be seen. Like the Ohio State game, that game was close. This game's not going to be close. They're about to show up for their coach. They're about to be backing this guy up. This is embarrassing. I think that this is stupid that they finally did this while other teams are sharing signs, stealing signs from them, then sending it in a dot together. So if you're going to do that, then go suspend Ryan Day, go suspend Shiano, go suspend all these different teams that stole their signs also. So you know what? I understand that lays on Harbaugh, but like you got to put everybody in part of it. So the whole entire Big Ten should get punished, not just the Wolverines. Been targeted all year, and it's just going to keep on coming.
Yeah. Anyways, next pick. Trey, we appreciate your insight on being a Michigan student and a Michigan athlete. This is a Michigan athlete right here, folks. So let's go next pick. We got Green Bay at Minnesota. I don't know, Green Bay at Pittsburgh. And I'm gonna go Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh defense is looking really nice. They got one of the greatest coaches of all time. Rallies the guys and just it's gonna be a blowout. I got Pittsburgh in a blowout.
Give me the Steelers again. As much as I don't think that the Steelers are good, the Steelers very much resemble what the Jets could have been these past few weeks. A team that's not very good that keeps winning football games by virtue of playing teams like the Rams with a banged up Matthew Stafford, the Titans, who are absolutely awful. They've gotten beat by pretty much every good team other than the Ravens, who choked away that game. That's the game where they had 10 drops for 188 yards and 3 touchdowns. Ridiculous, but the Packers sucked. They're really bad. This is going to be the game where all of the Packers fans finally realize that Jordan Love sucks and they're going to have to draft another quarterback. And I don't feel bad for him.
Yeah.
Nope. I agree with Grant.
I mean, when the Steelers played us on Sunday night, I don't think they're that good of a football team. If they're 5-3 currently, if they win, they'd be 6-3. And I have a really hard time seeing the Pittsburgh Steelers going 6-3. I think Green Bay is going to bounce back. Who'd they beat last week? They beat I know they won last week.
The Rams.
Yeah, I think they beat the Rams pretty convincingly. So their defense isn't bad.
I don't think
Um,
Stafford was playing though.
They beat Brett Rippon.
No,
They beat
Yeah, they
Brett
beat they
Rippon.
beat Brett Rippon.
Yeah, Brett Rippon, who just got cut. So
this is my
That's my whole point.
this is my bold pick of the week. I'm gonna go Green Bay here.
Just a Jordan Love believer.
Yep.
I am.
Then we
I
got
definitely am.
the Titans at Tampa Bay, another really shit game. There's just a bunch of bad games this week. This is like not a week for NFL schedulers to be happy about. But Will Levis looking really nice. I'm gonna take the Titans, and Tampa Bay. All they got is Mike Evans. They just throw to Mike Evans like 50 times a game. So Baker loves his big receivers.
I'm gonna take the Titans too. Like you were saying, horrible games this week. There's a reason the Jets and Raiders is on Sunday Night Football. This is the worst primetime slate I've seen in a long time. But I'm glad that they gave Amazon Prime the worst game. It's always fun to see the NFL giving Amazon Prime the worst game.
with Al Michaels, who might be the worst commentator I've heard in a while recently.
Oh, I don't
Dude
want.
sounds
Oh, Joe
asleep.
Buck's taking that one.
Dude,
Oh.
well, Aikman's also up there, but besides the point, I pick Buccaneers here. I don't know. I think everybody's just believing too much in the hype of the rookie of Levis. I think that this is going to be the game where they're facing a very veteran defense that will figure it out.
Yeah,
Very
as much as I want Tampa to win this game because the Titans are in similar spots as the Jets and Raiders are. I got to go Tennessee. I think they got a solid defense over there, and their rookie quarterback, he's playing amazing right now. So it's pretty shocking that he fell all the way to the second round with how he's dominating and how bad Bryce Young looks. So I'm gonna go Tennessee here.
Yeah, and then we got probably is going to be the game of the week. We got the 49ers going to Jacksonville coming off their bye, having lost 3 games in a row. I don't see the 49ers losing a 4th game in a row after the bye, losing number 4. I think it'll be a high scoring game. It'll be a good game. Jacksonville's a great team, but I got San Francisco in this one.
I've got San Francisco too for a lot of the same reasons you do. Also, the fact of just it's going to be humid. It's going to be like it's about 80 degrees. I was just looking up the forecast for the game. And humid, and I don't know why. It just feels like Jacksonville isn't one of those teams that can play well. When they really are going against a real tough opponent. Like I think Jacksonville just beats up on the bad guys. Their schedule has not been good at all this whole year. Been just beaten up on pretty easy teams. So yeah, I take the Niners pretty easily. I think this is a big bounce back game for them. It's 10 to 14 points.
I've got Niners, same reasons.
Yeah, I would agree. I'm gonna take the Niners. Their defensive coordinator Steve Wilk is moving down to the sideline now. He was in the booth, so yeah, I think they've lost 3 straight. I think they're much better than that. I think they're gonna come out firing against Jacksonville.
Yeah, and in the next game, we got Cleveland and Baltimore. I'm gonna go ahead and say the Ravens. I mean, Cleveland's been playing really well. They're looking nice with Deshaun Watson, but Baltimore at home, Ravens are a complete team. I think they're 6-3. So I got the Ravens in this one.
I got the Browns to play spoiler. The Ravens the past 2 weeks have looked like the best team in football. They have been absolutely incredible. And Rashawn, they're even better than you just said. They're 7-2.
They're 7-2. I just saw that.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, the playoffs are a totally different story. The Ravens are a really good regular season team, though. As much as I want to see the Ravens win this game, just to kind of put some distance, kind of beat up on those lower AFC North teams. Yeah, the Browns defense is they've already shown this year. They played once. They played earlier in the year, and they showed that they can beat this Ravens offense kryptonite.
I totally agree. I think Browns, and I think Garrett's just gonna be a monster. always comes out for these type of games, and I think that he's just going to come out again.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting game, and like you said, both of us really need the Ravens to win this game because those AFC North teams are scary. Like they got 4 teams above 5-3. So, but I'm going to go Balti here. They're playing like one of the best teams in football. Lamar's hitting his stride, and they just beat the absolute crap out of Seattle last week. So they're going to be riding high. It's going to be an interesting game, how they handle the Cleveland front, but I'm gonna take the Baltimore Ravens.
Next game, we got Atlanta going to Arizona, and we got Kyler Murray coming back, which is, I think, a huge advantage for Arizona. I think Mighty Mouse comes back and he's going to get the win. I just don't trust Taylor Heineke yet. I do think he's shown flashes like he did in Washington. He beat the Raiders when he was in Washington in Vegas. That game hurt me, but I got Kyler Murray on this one. And I think it'll be close. I think it'll be low scoring and close.
Give me, unfortunately for Cardinals faithful, give me the Cardinals. You're in a position where you want to lose big time. You're 1-8 football team. Winning football games really doesn't do anything for you. But the Falcons might be one of the worst 4-5 football teams I've ever seen in my life. Desmond Ritter's worse than Zach Wilson, and that's saying something. Yeah, wow. Both teams really bad. Just give me the Cardinals. Hopefully I don't have to watch this game.
Yeah, I'm also taking Cardinals. I think that Arthur Smith may be one of the stupidest coaches by not utilizing 2 of his top 5 picks. What was it? No, top 10 picks. Kyle Pitts and Bijan. Like, I don't really get it. Why not just
Drake London?
Why is he using Jonnu Smith? Like, why is this guy even a part of the offense?
Jonnu Smith and Tyler Algier.
Yeah, I was gonna say
that's just crazy. You know, I had to pick him up in fantasy. I had to pick up Tyler Algier for that sole purpose. Bijan Robinson sucks. Like, gets no. I mean, it's not that he sucks. He just gets no carries and no playing time. I mean, it's a disaster. It's just a disaster. I hate that franchise. I hate Atlanta.
The coach just does not. The coach just is not like utilizing his star talent. He just likes putting them to the ground and making them just feel not great about themselves. So, yeah, that's my thinking.
It's the FedEx way.
Yeah, I'm gonna ride with Arizona in this game. This is a really bad game though. Like both these franchises are in poverty mode right now. I think both of them have to reset after the season, but Kyler's coming back. It'll give them a boost. Unfortunately for them, they're going to win this game.
Yep.
We got Detroit at Chargers, which is another game that has possibility to be the game of the week. And the Lions are just looking really, really strong again. I can't remember. Did they make the playoffs last year, or were they?
They missed.
They missed that one game. Mm-hmm. They beat Green Bay in Week 18, but I think they
Seattle
lost.
Didn't lose.
Right. I remember something like that happened, but I think the Lions are just a team on the come up. I don't think they're a Super Bowl team yet, but I believe in them. And I think I got them over the Chargers. I think that'll also be a high scoring game, but I mean, give me Jared Goff. Jared Goff is just solid. I mean, we saw it firsthand on Monday night. I mean, McDaniels threw that game on purpose just because he knew he was on his way out anyways. I mean, 16-14, we had the ball at like our own 20-yard line, and he just ran 3 runs up the gut and we punted. I mean, just horrible. But I got Detroit in this one. I think it'll be a close one.
My prediction is a little different than yours. I also have Detroit. I think the first play of the game, the Chargers are going to realize that they're not playing a Swiss cheese offensive line like they did last week. They're playing a really good one. And their defense is going to look awful like it has all year. The Chargers front four is among the best in the league talent wise. And it's not like they're right up there with the Jets and with other teams that are just incredible on the defensive line. The problem for the Chargers is they have nobody else. J.C. Jackson, who was a talented corner, was so bad in their system that he had to get dealt. So I think the Chargers come back down to earth, and I think it's not really a close game. I think the choking Chargers come out and lose by at least 14, 20, something like that. Not close.
Agreed. Being from Michigan, hear all these Detroit people going off about them, loving this team. This defense is awesome. biting kneecaps. Give me some Aiden Hutchinson sacks over here on Justin Herbert. I feel like the offense is going to have a huge day. Gibbs is about to go crazy. Is Demont back yet? Do you guys know? Does anybody know if Montgomery's
I
back
think
this
he
week?
is, yeah.
Yeah,
I
he
think
is back.
Okay. I think that they're going to utilize both of them. It's going to be a great little style of theirs. Chomp at the kneecaps. Let's go about it. I love this team. Detroit is basically my second favorite team at this point. Let's go Detroit. I think it's about to be a blowout. I'm watching that Chargers team. They did not really impress me. Detroit has impressed me all year. They're going to keep it going with this one.
Yeah, I think this is an interesting game because the Chargers didn't play all that well against you guys. Obviously they won in a blowout fashion, but I don't think they played their best game, and yet they still won. So I think they're going to be riding high, which they shouldn't be because I think they're going to come out flat in Charger fashion. Detroit's playing really well right now. They do a lot of things well. Their quarterback's playing well. They can run the ball, and they got an elite defensive line and great secondary players too. Brian Branch. So I'm going to take Detroit here.
Yeah, and I mean, we all kind of clean sweep that.
Yeah.
Because like you said, yeah, the Chargers did look better than they actually are last week, and that's because of Zach Wilson. So I mean, that'll be a good game to watch. I think we're going to see a lot of Lions fans in that building. I mean, Detroit's going to overtake LA for that game, that's for sure. I mean, I know like 5 to 10 Lions fans at USC. You know, just let alone like what are the odds you meet 10 people and they're like all Lions fans? Like that's
Putting on
just
the blue ski mask.
I know, coincidental, man. Like crazy. But next game we got Tommy DeVito and the Giants going to Dallas. I think we could skip over this game, honestly. I mean, that's just gonna be a blowout. I mean, we're not
It's gonna be close.
Yeah.
When the line's at 17, I think that's our cue to skip it.
Yeah, that's our cue. We got Dallas. All four. I'm going to talk for everyone. We got Dallas for everyone got Dallas. Next
If you don't
game.
have Dallas, you're crazy.
Yeah, exactly. He said it best. We got Washington at Seattle. I also think this is going to be a good game. I think this is going to be like a really good game. And I don't think that, you could say Seattle looked awful last week. I think it was last week they played Baltimore and they scored 3 points. And, DK Metcalf like screwed my fantasy team again. I mean, last week was a disaster. I had no chance of winning, and I almost still won. And Zach Wilson cost me the game. But honestly, I think Washington's going to win this game. I think Sam Howell's riding high right now, and Riverboat Ron's going to take risks. They're playing exceptionally good football right now, despite trading away their 2 best pass rushers. And yeah, I got Washington in a close one. I think Seattle, DK is going to be out. I think he hasn't practiced all week. So yeah.
I think I'm gonna go with I'm gonna roll with the upset too. I'm gonna go with Washington. I think Jared Allen's gonna play like a man in hell because he is. And he's still sour over not getting traded. So hopefully he can boost his stock even more so he can get traded in the offseason. And I don't know, this Redskins team just really likes to put up empty points and just throw the ball around. And I really don't think Howell's even that good. It's just everybody's getting open. I like the scheme. Bieniemy's really showing all his doubters that he can really get it done as the actual play caller and number 1 offensive guy. And real quick, does anybody actually know the origin of Riverboat Ron? Because I've heard him called that so many times, and it's just like I don't know where it actually came from.
I think it came from when there was a game when he was on. This was, I think, when they were the W's, when they were just a Washington football team. I think that year they made the playoffs. They ended up winning the division that year, I think, in 2020. And I think there was a play there towards the end of the season where he went for 2, like they had scored and then they like would kick the extra point to tie. But I remember vaguely he went for 2 and they won the game, and that's how they ended up winning the division. I think it might have been at Dallas in week 18 or something. It was something crazy like that. That was the first year.
Yeah, I just looked it up, and you're right. It was a 2-point conversion. Yeah.
Okay. I thought so, man. I thought so. I mean, I really like that coach, man. I think Riverboat Ron's a great coach. I think in the Super Bowl, if Cam Newton ended up diving on that ball, I don't know if you guys remember when Von Miller, I think, stripped him and the ball was on the floor and he could have just dove on it and he would have got the ball. He just
Yeah.
kind of stood there just watching that other guy on Denver jump on the ball. If he got the ball back, he's a big, strong guy. He could have got the ball back. It was 17-10 at that point. Panthers would have had a shot still. Instead, it was like 24-10. That was the game. And I mean, I remember that game like it was yesterday. We were watching. John, remember we were watching in that bootleg TV in the back of someone's house. We were watching. There was a chair. Pool. There was a chair in the bottom of the pool, and we were watching in the backyard on a fucking laptop that was sitting on a table in the back. Most ghetto ass Super Bowl ever. But
Yeah. Wait, what was the game again? Oh yeah, Seattle versus.
no, it was Carolina. It was
Oh, no,
Carolina.
I'm talking about this game coming up.
Seattle Commanders.
Seattle
Yeah.
Commanders. That's in Seattle or it's in DC?
In Seattle.
I'm surprised you guys picked Washington. I'm gonna go Seattle. They came off an embarrassing loss, and they're leading their division right now at 5-4. Or are they 5-4, 5-3?
5-4.
Okay, so if they win this game, I think they,
5-3,
depending on what SF does, they're in contention for their division. So I think they got a lot more to play for than Washington does. So I think they're gonna come out firing. Give me Geno at home.
No, they just dropped. Apparently. I'm looking at the seedings right now. They're second in their division. San Francisco somehow took the tie.
San Francisco's
they're
5-3 though, right?
They're both 5-3.
My bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, they're right there. So
Yeah.
who knows?
This is for what up, Mike. I'm still calling Commanders. I think that Geno Smith has been horrible this year. Geno Smith has gotten comfortable. He got his money. Does not really care anymore. And yeah, I got Commanders.
Yeah, and also big news. Colton Miller, our starting left tackle for 4 years, has never missed a game. Has been ruled out. So
Huff is gonna eat.
Oh,
Huff and
Huff's gonna
Jermaine is
eat.
about to
yeah,
eat.
that's gonna be.
It's gonna be 6 sacks.
I think what's gonna happen is Illuminor is gonna swing to left tackle, and they're gonna have Brandon Parker come in at the right tackle,
Great.
or Thayer Mumford is
Yeah.
actually so Brandon Parker might be the alternate. But
Yeah.
I honestly trust Illuminor at left tackle. I think Illuminor's played left tackle for us before, and I think it was when Carr was there last year. So these guys are all happy about this right now. I mean, Colton Miller out sucks. That hurts us. But I still think Aiden O'Connell will manage in the pod. He learned after getting sacked by Max 6 times. He's learned.
I'll add this. I think that Jermaine Johnson, Bryce Huff together is a disgusting combo. And now that you're having a backup, what is it? 2 backups you said? Is it on your offensive line right now? Or is it just one?
It's one. Illuminor's our
One.
right tackle, but he's pretty versatile, so he'll probably swing the
he'll
left
swing.
tackle.
Yeah.
He'll swing to left.
I still think Bryce Huff is probably one of the best edge rushers this year with how much of the pressure rate and also Jermaine Johnson. I think that those boys are about to combine for around 2 to 3 sacks, with Big Q in the middle probably getting his first sack of the year if you guys are talking about something like that. If their defensive line is too gross.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. But I do like Thayer Munford. I don't want to see Brandon Parker out there.
Yeah, I
I
know.
love
I
that
don't,
dude.
I don't
That
want to
man
see.
is gonna win us the game.
When we cut BP, I was so hyped that we cut BP, and now that I saw he's on the practice squad, I don't think he gets called up. To be honest, they might just roll with Mumford is back at practice, so he could roll. But yeah, I mean, we got one more game to cover. We got Denver going to Buffalo. I think it'll be a closer game than people think, just because Denver's riding high off that Kansas City win. I've always thought Sean Payton was a good coach. I mean, but it's Denver, right? We hate Denver. We've always hated Denver, just like you guys have always hated New England. We've always hated Denver. It's just a personal thing. And Buffalo is not the best team either. I think Buffalo should easily be under 500 right now. I mean, they had a couple wins where it was just like, like they beat the Giants 14-9.
And they shouldn't have.
And that there was that holding on Darren Waller in the end zone that they didn't call. And then there was
bad.
other play against Bucks when there was holding on Chris Godwin in the end zone and they didn't call it. So there was 2 plays where if you flip those 2 and they turn into touchdowns, they're losing both those games and they're sitting at 4-5 or 3-5, 3-6 actually. So they would be 3-6 essentially right now. But I'm gonna still take Buffalo at home. It's gonna be a cold one. If you guys want to go, it's like they're selling tickets for $25 because no one wants to freeze their ass off in Buffalo.
Yeah.
No thanks, but I'm gonna take the Broncos because I'm gonna use my one Bills.
Agreed. I'm also picking Broncos. Will help us out.
I just think the Bills are the weirdest team in the NFL. I remember week 1 when you guys played them. When I was watching that game, I felt like a Jets fan. I was pulling so hard for the Jets, and like Josh Allen, he's good, but he keeps having these games where you're shaking your head like, is this guy a top 5 quarterback or is he a bottom 5 quarterback? But that said, I do think the Broncos are going to come back down to earth. They lost by 70 points. That's all I'll say. So I think Bills got it.
I just got one.
Yeah, go ahead.
I just got one last note. I tried to find a picture of Aiden O'Connell to make as my background. And he was too chubby to fit fully in the screen. So I've got like a kinda Aiden O'Connell background. So sorry, the Jets pass rushers will take a little bit off of it. But on a serious note, on the Josh Allen thing, Josh Allen actually, since he entered the NFL, has led the league in interceptions in every single year. So since 2018, he's led the league in interceptions. Since 2019, since 2020, since 2021, all the way up to this year. He has, I think it's 68 interceptions since 2018, and that leads the NFL continuously. Josh Allen is he's kind of like going to the casino. You're either going to win a lot or lose a lot.
Hey, we won big last time we were there. We won big.
Oh yeah.
You won double than me, but I still won $500. I was still happy.
Oh yeah. No, that was a great time.
Big 1,200 for G-Man.
Oh yeah. Made it look easy.
Yeah, that which he said he was gonna put down towards buying a ticket to go to Vegas, but
I was going to, and then the Jets came out against the Chargers and produced the weirdest blowout I've ever watched in my life. And I was like,
Worst
wow,
blowout.
that was garbage. Not worst, because the worst blowout would be like being a Broncos fan and getting beat by 50.
yeah,
I hated watching that.
Yeah, but
have been
dude,
horrible.
if we had to watch actually getting beat by 50, like I can't even imagine that.
I just turned that shit off at that point.
Dude.
Hey, but guys, I wanted to thank you guys for coming on the pod. We loved having you guys here today, and this is gonna be one of our better episodes for sure. We never had 2 guests on it before, so it was fun, trying to figure it out. And Grant, we appreciate your analysis, also your deep analysis into the Jets and what they do in their free time. Everything to when they take Jets. You know it all, man. We really
gotta stay updated.
Yeah, but hey, Trey, also thank you, man. Thanks for coming on.
Of course.
And we'll see you later, Raider Nation.
Peace.
Thank you all.